Hi y'all, welcome to the Messy Studio. Today I'm going to do something that I've been wanting to do for some time and finally got everything I need to be able to do it, and that's use a router to carve a sign. As I mentioned in another video, eventually I'm going to convert this into a router carved sign, but for the time being I thought I would make my first piece a little bit smaller. So come along and let me show you where we are so far. This piece I've already got cut out and laid out on my board. Now this is this layer, the first layer is reclaimed pine fence board. I've got 3 pieces laminated together, and then I glued a plywood backer on them to help keep them stapled so they won't cup or warp. And I printed my piece out. If you're using this method where you're going to route over the paper, Rhoten suggests covering your wood with masking tape. That will come off of the wood and leave less residue than if you use a spray adhesive. And then once you get this glued down to the masking tape with spray adhesive, I have to go over and I will cover this with clear packing tape. When I get this covered with clear packing tape, then I'll put it on the bench and start routing. So you don't need to watch me do that, so I'll do that off camera and we'll be back. Okay, so this is the bit I'm going to use. This is called a detail bit. So get it in the router. I got it off of Amazon. It says it's by Foos. It's Pro Carbide V-Groove is what they call it. Never bottom out your router bits. I pulled this one back so that all of the cuts are just above the, well, you'll see it in a minute. All the cuts are just above the collet, or all of the cutting flutes are just above the collet. And yes, it's unplugged. This is the collet. All the cutting flutes are just below that. Now I need to set my height. Oh man, I'm sorry for the hacking, folks. It's oak season and the oak pollen is everywhere and I'm allergic. If it weren't for my inhalers, I wouldn't be able to survive. But it creates this crap in my lungs that there's just nothing I can do about. Now I'm setting my depth. I'm just eyeballing it for now. I'm going to set my depth for this bit right at 1/8 of an inch. There it is. And the reason I'm being so gentle is because, well, of a few things. Number one, I haven't done this before. And yes, safety glasses. I haven't done this before. And I don't want to be too aggressive. I can always go back and make it deeper if I need to. I'm going to try to do this so that you can see what I'm doing, but basically all these red letters, those are going to be carved down. The dune buggy is going to be left original height, and the background, all this background in here is going to be hollowed down as well, or cut down. So the border, the frame, it's a 1/2 inch wide. It's going to be left original height all the way around. So let's see how bad I can screw this up. That's in the way. In fact, this whole back is in the way. Y'all can't see through that at all. And if I turn it around, I won't be able to see what I'm doing. If I like this, I may buy another one of these routers and cut that out. Actually, if I like this, I may buy a good palm router, and make a new plate for it. This is actually fun. Now for the inside of the letters, I'll go back in with a 60-degree V-bit later and waste that inside out. It'll take more material out than this little bit. This is just a detail bit. Not a detail bit, but I think they refer to it as a profile bit. Man, I'm digging this. I'll get a stiff bristle brush later. And now, for control's sake, always go counterclockwise. I learned that from Rhoten. Well, all in all, I'm not too displeased. I can see I got some work to do on that E. Everything else turned out pretty cool. Maybe a little more on that K. Battery on my camera's getting low. Let me get the Stindy cord. I'll be back. Brushed it out with my stiff bristle brush. Vacuumed it all off with my shop vac, but it looks good. I need to finish the letters in a minute. But right now I'm going to use the same bit, same depth, and go around the outside and the border. Where the grain in this pine, because of the hard and soft growth rings, it kicks the router bit a little bit, but as long as you go slow, it's not that big a deal. Yeah, it don't look like much yet. Now I'll set the bit about 1/16 of an inch deeper. Unplugged.
Well, you done it. If I had a brain, I'd take it out and play with it. I'd take it out and play with it all over this land. I wasn't supposed to undo that. I'm setting the depth, not changing my router bit. Stupid boy.
Like I said, I'm going to make this about 3/16. Now I'm going to go around this again a little further out, give me a buffer zone I should go down a little deeper. I know y'all can't see my measuring stick, but I can. So I don't need to be quite as careful with this one. Still careful, but not quite as careful. Because like I said, I'm creating what Eric refers to as a buffer zone. I'm just gonna widen this line a little bit, and it's gonna go out a little bit deeper.
I'm kind of glad y'all couldn't see my face while I was doing this. I realized about halfway through cleaning up the S that I had my tongue hanging out of my mouth. Now, and if I do say so myself, that don't look too bad.
Of course, I'm wearing a lap full of sawdust right now. You can see all of this. But surprisingly, it's not getting in my face at all. Gotta make one little adjustment inside that steering wheel. Now, I don't actually have to use the 60-degree bit, because I was going to use the 60-degree bit to get down into these letters. But I don't need to, because these are plenty clean. All I gotta do is clean up a few fuzzies, and I've got a nice stepped edge in there, and I think it looks pretty good. It's gonna be spray painted black anyway. All right, change the bit. You can get all these bits from Dave and Eric. This is a 90-degree bit. I like to pull it out between an 1/8 and a 1/4 inch. Again, if you bottom that bit out, it will stick. For my background, I'm setting my depth at about 1/4 inch. Okay, plug the router back in, and now I'll go around and blow this background out. And like I said, I'm using, it's a 90-degree V-groove bit. So I'm going to leave this background textured, and you'll see when I get done what I'm talking about. Okay, you can see it's just a random textured pattern in there. Now there's some high spots that I need to work on, like around this edge, but I'll do that after I get the rest of this background knocked out. Okay, got the card empty, put my smock on because it's easier to get dust off of it. I'm gonna clean up this border right here. Alrighty. That's gonna be cool.
Well, I don't know what y'all think, but I'm digging this. It's getting hard on the thumbs. I'm thinking these handles need to be, oh, maybe half again that big around. These handles right here. Because of these mitts, I'm not dainty-handed. That actually looks pretty good. Now, when I spray all of that black, it'll look even better. I'm happy with it. I think this is pretty cool. So, let's finish it up. I have one more thing to do before I paint it, and that's to chamfer these edges. It don't need much. Got my chamfering bit in there. Set my height just by eye. Like I said, it don't need much of a chamfer. This is probably, oh, 1/8 of an inch or less. Got the edge chamfered. Now, hit the edge with my oscillating spindle sander. I did that because I'm going to paint everything that's exposed black. This, yeah, it's a snuff can. And legs off of, the rubber pieces off the legs from this old table that I'm using as a workbench. And I use it because it lets me do this. Yes, it's a cheapskate's Lazy Susan. I know they make Lazy Susans, and I could go to Lowe's and get the mechanism, build me a Lazy Susan to do this. But why do I need to spend the money when that works just fine for no more than I'm going to be doing? Here we go. Oh, I'll note right here, Dave and Eric use primarily Marsh Sign ink. It's like, you can get it on Amazon, it's like $8 a can. You can get it in different colors. They use primarily black. This is black Krylon flat. Flat black Krylon. Now, the reason they use Seineke, because if you watch their videos, they spray the overall sign and then they'll sand down to bare wood what's going to be wood. Right now I don't have to do that because I've still got the wood covered in tape. And they use Rust-Oleum primer for the same reason. They found it doesn't penetrate. I don't know if this Krylon flat paint plus primer penetrates the wood or not. And right now I'm not real worried about it, like I said, because I've got tape over what's going to remain plain wood. All you need to do is make sure you cover the wood. This needs to be flat black. And as the paint dries, you'll see and it soaks in, sometimes the wood creeps back. So just keep hitting it till you get good coverage. Alright, I'll let that dry for a half hour or so and then come back and pull the tape off, sand it, and shoot it with my final finish. It's going to be a clear. I may use Minwax polyacrylic. I haven't made up my mind yet. Okay, it's dry. So let's start pulling the tape off. No, it's not perfect, but it's hand carved. I could have used a edge guide on the router when I did this border, but I didn't want to. You get all done, and end up with this spot that didn't get brushed out good for whatever reason. So what he does is just uses a Sharpie. Not done yet, but that's where we are so far. All in all, I think it looks pretty cool. So this was a test, proof of concept more than anything else, to see if I could do it. And I did it. Here in the next few days, I'll start on the Messy Studio sign. After I finish the oak bowl. It is in the work. It's on the lathe right now. It's got some colored epoxy drying on it. Something else they do, instead of vacuuming it, they blow it. It does get the stuff out of the cracks better. And it don't fill your bag. You hit the back with one coat of polyacrylic. I'm just doing this to seal it. Wait 30 minutes, turn it over, and spray the top. Okay, the back is dry. Now let that dry for a half hour and see how much it soaks in. Where the black is, it's not soaking in near like it's gonna on the clear wood, but so I may have to hit it with a couple more light coats just on the wood. But I've got all the black coated pretty good. So we'll be back in about a half hour. So this is it. It's done. I'm going to put one more coat of polyacrylic on it, but it's done. Edges are black. Nope, it's not perfect, but I like it. For a first time router carved sign, I think it's respectable. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. I promise the next video will be a turning video. Is mostly shot, well, shaping the outside of the bowl is done, and I'm waiting on some colored epoxy to dry. When that gets done, I'll smooth it out, sand it again, flip it around, hollow out the inside, and you'll see that in the next video. And as promised, took a piece of cut off from that live oak bowl that I'm making. I've got it here. This is going to be the pedestal for my tri-sided cedar box that I cut the bottom out of. That'll be the video after I finish the bowl. So it's coming, as promised. I'm not going to use all of that. I think I'm only going to use about half of it. So got 2 turning videos coming up after this, and then I'll carve my Messy Studio sign. And then I don't know what I'm going to do. I still haven't got around to doing the handles for those seam rippers. I'll probably hit those after I turn those 2 other pieces. So come back and see us. Thanks again, y'all.